Good afternoon, and thank you, Father Rob. I want to welcome everyone to the 14th Annual Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation Banquet. It's kind of a special day. We're here to recognize and honor the outstanding basketball players, coaches, and officials of the past and the present. I would like to congratulate all of the outstanding young men and women who represented their schools, communities, and families with great class this year. I would also like to congratulate our new Hall of Fame inductees. This is truly a great day for Ashtabula County basketball. We hope you enjoy this special day. Before we start the program, we are going to eat. So, I know Mr. Garsha back there is going to have someone come to your tables and dismiss you to get your food, and then once everybody has been able to get started to eat anyway, then we'll start with the program. But again, thank you for coming, and we'll get started here soon. Thank you.
Players, would you please rise as your name is called? From the girls, Carly Aponte, Lakeside. Kat Hall, Pymatuning Valley. Haley Peoples, Geneva. Emily Smock, Jefferson. Abby Triscutt, Grand Valley. And Player of the Year, Lindsay Maley from Geneva. And Coach of the Year, Nancy Barbo from Geneva. From the boys, Morgan Babick, Pymatuning Valley. Reggie Bryant, Lakeside. Marcus Ernst, Edgewood. Noel Levikas, Grand Valley. Blake Payne, Jefferson. Player of the Year, Sam Hitchcock from Jefferson. And Coach of the Year, Steve French, also from Jefferson. Thanks to all of you for your contributions to county basketball.
Good afternoon, everybody. I get the honor to introduce the ACBF Player of the Year nominations for the girls and the boys. We're also going to introduce their respective coaches. So, players and coaches, if you could stand and we can recognize you as I call your name. We'll start with the girls. From Conneaut High School, Jessica Thompson and her coach, Tony Passman. From Edgewood High School, Ashley Evans and her coach, Paul Stopen. From Geneva High School, Lindsay Maley and her coach, Nancy Barbo. From Grand Valley High School, Abby Triscutt and her coach and mom, Kim Triscutt. From Jefferson High School, Emily Smock and her coach, Steve Losey. From Lakeside High School, Alicia Figueroa and her coach, Bill Osborne. From Pymatuning Valley High School, Madison Hurst and her coach, Jeff Compton. And from St. John High School, Madison Parody and her coach, Nick Irochi. Now for the boys, from Conneaut High School, Justin Myers and his coach, Tim Tallbacker. From Graduate High School, Marcus Stearns and his coach, John Bowler. From Geneva High School, Seth Calhoun and his coach, Brad Ellis. From Grand Valley High School, Matt Larned and his coach, Justin Turk. From Jefferson High School, Sam Hitchcock and his coach, Steve French. From Lakeside High School, Reggie Bryant and his coach, Jim Hood. Pontotonia Valley High School, Morgan Babick and his coach, Ryan Shantz. And St. John High School, Tony Masucci and his coach, John Hall and Devin Yates. Congratulations, boys and girls, coaches, have a great year. Thank you.
This time, could I have the Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation Hall of Fame inductees join me on the stage, please? While you make your way up here, I'd like to take this second to thank the Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation for allowing me to be here today. It's my honor to induct all of you into the Hall of Fame. Just grab a chair. Get you guys inducted. We'll start with Terrence Hanna. Terrence is a 1984 Ashtabula graduate. Played forward for Bob Walters' Panthers team, averaging about 20 points a game as a senior and sharing Player of the Year honors with Andy Jahola. It was nice of you, Andy, for sharing that. Terrence went on to play for Baldwin Wallace, Walters' alma mater, where he averaged about 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists his junior and senior years. Terrence now works as a molder at General Aluminum in Conway. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashtabula County Basketball Hall of Fame Foundation, Basketball Foundation Hall of Fame inductee, Terrence Hanna.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank the ACBF, and I'd like to thank Andy for making that phone call. When Andy called me, I was shocked to hear from him and to hear that I had been a nominee, and I want to thank him for making that phone call. I want to thank Coach Joe Rich and Coach Roby Potts, my West Junior High School coaches. They took a skinny kid and molded him into a basketball player. I want to thank them for helping me hone my skills in order to continue on playing basketball. I want to thank Coach Bob Walters. I had heard many things about Coach Bob Walters before I went to Ashtabula High School, and I want to thank him for 2 things. 1, to help me prepare physically, and number 2, to help me prepare mentally for the game of basketball. I know taking classes, his HPE classes, I know we had a saying that's called PMA, positive mental attitude. And that's something that I continue to live by 30 years later. I thank my college coach, Coach Steve Bankson. He went to the school of Bobby Knight. We called him the Little Napoleon because at every type of function that Bobby Knight put on, he was there to learn more about coaching. Coach Bankson, he rode me just like I was a horse in the Kentucky Derby. And I want to thank him for it because it helped me become a better player. I want to thank Coach Dan Hughes. He was my assistant coach in college. and now he is the general manager and the head coach for the San Antonio Stars in WNBA. I want to thank him for helping me along the way also. I want to thank all my former teammates and opponents in high school, college, and all the basketball courts in Ashtabula County. We battled, and we battled fiercely, and I want to thank you for that. I also want to thank a teammate of mine in college. His name is Bob Lowry. Bob Lowry was a 28-year-old senior, and I was a 17-year-old freshman. And he played with Bernard King at the University of Tennessee. Bob Lowry got involved in alcohol, and so he had to transfer. He transferred to Baldwin Wallace. He was the first person that I met. You talk about Pistol Pete Maravich. He was a Pistol Pete Maravich that I had a chance to play with. He threw passes that were unbelievable, and I want to thank him for that because I sat down and talked to him and picked his brains about being a basketball player. He was being looked at by a lot of NBA teams when he was at Baldwin Wallace. And he told me one thing, and that was to stay away from alcohol as an athlete because it had destroyed his life, and he did not want it to destroy a 17, 18-year-old kid coming from Ashtabula High School. So I want to thank Bob Lowry for that. He was an unbelievable player. I want to thank Dr. Neil Malky, who was former president of Baldwin Wallace. He helped me with professionalism on and off the basketball court. Same thing with Dr. Mark Collier. He was the former president of Baldwin Wallace, and he was my academic advisor. So he made sure I did not take any math or reading classes when I was in college. So he made sure of that. I want to thank my fraternity, Lambda Chi Alpha. We had over 300 members, and I was the only African American in my fraternity, and they helped me out and they welcomed me with open arms. I want to thank you for that. Last but not least, I want to thank my parents, and I want to thank my siblings. There were many times they took me out back in the woodshed when I was playing basketball, and there were many times I went home crying because I lost to my siblings, my brothers and my sister. Being involved in basketball has taught me many things, and one of the most important was how to perform as a team. Whether you like the person or not, I had to put my differences aside for one common goal, which was to win. Everyone in athletics, work, or life in general knows that you're not going to be able to get along with everyone, but you have a mutual respect for everyone to achieve your goals. Okay. The one player that I kind of try to pattern myself after was Julius Erving. Before there was LeBron James, before there was a Larry Bird, before there was a Kevin Durant, there was Dr. J. And I used to sit at home while everybody went out when I was a junior in high school. I used to sit and listen to the basketball games from the Philadelphia radio station. And one day I would like to beat him. And I would like to pick his brains and sit down and talk to him. And let him know that I was one of his biggest fans. Well, that occurred back in 1997 when they had the NBA All-Star game at Cleveland. They were inducting the 50 greatest players, and Dr. J happened to be one of those. I was sitting in a buddy's restaurant in downtown Cleveland, and I was sitting with a buddy named John Kazimierski, and we were sitting, and he said, you'll never guess who walked in. He said, it's Dr. J. I said, you're kidding me. I didn't say you were kidding me. I said something else, but I want to keep the G rated. He said, Dr. J is on his way. He's walking past us. And as I looked around, he said, I heard a voice said, yeah, fella, it is Dr. J. And I turned around, and I shook his hand, and we sat down, I bought him a drink. He didn't have to buy me a drink. I bought him a drink. And I said, hey, I heard a story about every night after you got paid, after the game, you would go home and you would count your money before you went to bed. Is that true? He looked at me and started smiling. It's been 19 years and I haven't got an answer yet, but I believe it is a true story. Okay. In closing, I want to say this to every student athlete. Practice, practice, practice. Not only physically, but also mentally. I played with many athletes throughout my life with great skills and potential, but they had no mental toughness. high school or on your way to college, one of the most difficult things for many athletes to handle is that they're not necessarily going to be the number one male athlete or the number one female athlete on the team anymore. You got to keep a positive mental attitude and faith in your life, and all will work out fine. Thank you for this honor.
Our next inductee is Kayan Thales Ruffin. Kayan is a 1994 Conneaut graduate, was a shooting guard for coaches Dave Simpson and Todd Rotari. She was one of the best three-point shooters in the county and the NEC. Kayan went on to play softball as a catcher at West Virginia Wesleyan, batting .406 as a junior and close to that as a senior. Kayan taught for 7 years in West Virginia before moving back to Ohio, where she taught in Wadsworth. She now lives in Washington State with her husband Scott and their 3 children. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation Hall of Famer Kayan Thales Ruffin.
Well, as you can see, Kayan's not here. Hi. Start with, Lynn and I would like to thank the ACBF for selecting our daughter for the Hall of Fame. What I'm going to read to you today are thoughts by Kayan, since she was unable to attend today. Snoqualmie, Washington is a long flight from here. First, I would like to thank Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation for presenting me with this honor. I would like to thank Mike Jocelyn and Nick Irochi for their consideration and nomination. I would also like to extend my congratulations to all the rest of the inductees. As most kids, my basketball career started as a few simple games of pig in the driveway of our house. My older brother, Craig, a far better three-point shooter, offered the major household chores to the loser of our shutouts. My dad often jumped into action just to remind us he could still hold his own on the basketball court. Many outcomes were determined behind the three-point line. Even though I did my fair share of dishes over the year, I became a more confident shooter because of those two. Our friendly competition continued through the years of shooting tournaments, middle school games, and eventually high school. Luckily, Craig and I had our parents cheering us on, showing their love and support. I attended every game on the schedule each and every year. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for always being in the stands. Reflecting upon my high school basketball career, I always felt it was like Tale of Two Cities. On one hand, my freshman and sophomore years, under Coach Simpson, allowed the opportunity for me to step into the varsity role as a freshman and gain valuable experience as an underclassman. I was grateful for the individual recognition because I proved myself I could play among upperclassmen. However, our team faced continued defeat, losing stock, and we did a lot of that in my first 2 years. And as cliche as it sounds, I learned much more from losing than I did from winning. I learned to lose gracefully, I learned to work harder, I learned to be a leader, and I learned I didn't like losing. So when Coach Rotari came around, along my junior year, my role on the team completely shifted. I became a point guard and ran the offense. Shooting became secondary. The core group of girls I played with the past 2 years were now experienced upperclassmen, and we finally had the right combination of coaching, experience, and talent to excel. Winning quickly became the expectation, and we rose to the challenge. My last 2 years of high school basketball were most memorable, not because of my stats, not because of our final standings in NEC, because of the camaraderie among my teammates. Coach Rotari created an atmosphere based on teamwork, effort, and perseverance. He built a team which we were proud to be part of. So thank you to my teammates at CHS, and thank you to Coach Rotari, showing me the whole is always greater than the sum of parts. So here we are, 20 years later. My role shifted again. After a complete softball career, a master's degree in special education, marriage, 3 kids, and a cross-country move, I'm now a parent, but a kid in a drive-through. Together with my kids, we are placing silly bets on the outcome of our shootouts. Even though I haven't lost yet, I know that time will come, and then it will be time for me to sit back and cheer them on from the stands each and every game. P.S. And would like to congratulate Boyd Griffith for being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Good old East Siders have to stick together. Thank you.
And with that, our next inductee is Boyd Griffith. Boyd's a 1991 Pontiac graduate, was the NEC's Player of the Year for the 1990-91 season after scoring almost 21 points per game for Greg Mason's high-scoring Spartan team. He walked on as a baseball player at Bowling Green State University, but unfortunately broke his ankle his freshman year. Boyd and Sherry Griffith have 2 daughters. Boyd now works as an operations associate at Mohawk Papers in Saybrook. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation Hall of Fame inductee, Boyd Griffith.
I'll keep it short and sweet. I didn't have a speaker prepared, so I'll keep everything rolling here. I'd like to thank my parents. They've been there for every game, never missing a game. My coaches, my teammates, and I also want to thank the foundation too, also for this amazing award. I'm very humbled by it, and I'm speechless actually. So I want to thank you again.
Our next inductee, Lori Korver. Lori is a 1978 Geneva graduate, was one of the best players in the county in the early years of girls high school basketball here. Playing under Coach Sally Tokinen, Lori led the Eagles to the NEC championships her sophomore and senior seasons. She was Player of the Year in the NEC after her sophomore, junior, and senior years. Lori went on to play at Lakeland Community College, where she was co-captain and team MVP both of her years there. She's worked for the Ohio Department of Transportation for the last 28 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation Hall of Famer, Lori Korver.
It's hot down there. Whew. Thank you. First, I would like to express how important this award is to me. I am honored to be inducted in the Basketball Hall of Fame with so many other prestigious and elite players, men and women. As I look across the room and see so many basketball memories from the past 40 years, I can smile and know that I am in good company. The Hall of Fame includes a lot of talented players that I am thankful to be a part of and associated with. I still follow basketball players locally and at college levels. Right now we're in March Madness, and good luck to the both final teams, Villanova and North Carolina. I watch it every year. I love it. Let me go back to 1973-74. That's when I was in 8th grade. And I relentlessly begged my gym teacher every day, Miss Sally Tokinen, to please let a girls' basketball team, get a girls' basketball team together. Every day this went on. And not just in the gym class, because I would put notes on her door too. that was the beginning and the start of the Geneva girls basketball program. And the Eagles had an 8th and 9th grade team for the first time. This is it. This is the 8th graders right here. Out of all these girls, I'm the only one that went the next 4 years. Said I wasn't gonna cry. Now, we didn't have too many teams to play against back then, but our first rivalry was, there's always a rival team you have to just, and our first rival team was Madison, coached by Sally Pierce, and some of you might still remember her. We played them a lot. We played a lot of games and we were competitive and intense, and sometimes we blowed with them. Our coach, Tote, did everything herself. She didn't have any assistants. So it made long days and hard work for her, but she enjoyed it as much as we did. Tote had 2 mentors. Again, Bobby Knight. She would buy books. She would read the philosophy of basketball. She would read about their offense, their defense, their training, their conditioning, their camps, their one-on-one man-in zones. And the other one was right at our school, Bill Coble. They would talk occasionally about basketball. She idolized him. She would listen to every word he said. And we always knew when she had a discussion with Coach Coble because we were doing the same thing the very next day of practice. We had to fight, back then we had to fight for the use of the gym. We had to have our practices late at 6 p.m. after the boys were done. But we didn't mind because we had a girls' team, and we didn't care what time it was. The most important rule at practice during all of our passing and bouncing and shooting drills was not to let any basketballs hit the little record player that was sitting in the corner on the floor of the gym, playing our songs like Queen, We Are the Champions, and Meatloaf, to get us all pumped up. Because that's all we had was that little record player. I am the first female inductee to stand up here and say, this was the beginning of the girls' basketball program at Geneva High School, and Sally Kokanen blazed the trail for so many. Now, time has changed a lot for the girls' basketball. We never thought of full-ride scholarships at colleges, NCAA tournaments, March Madness, women playing basketball on TV, and the stands are full, and the band's playing, and cheerleaders and mascots. Closest thing we had to a band was Mickey Radabaugh dropping her flute when she walked in the gym. And in our stands, we had 10 people. And most of them were our parents. And the athletic director and the custodian. So things have come a long way. And everyone should be taking advantage of everything at the end of your fingers, everything that's available to you. Like the other coaches and in the Spire and all these facilities that you can work at and practice at. and listen to men first. The girls' basketball became smaller. I don't know what year that happened, but that picture of me in the paper with palming 2 basketballs, those were the big boys' basketballs. And the 3-point shot, that was added. Wow. I can think of so many guys, like Ernie Pascalone, Jay McHugh, Brad Ellis. We would have capitalized on that. We would have set so many records, because 80% of our shots were 3-point shots. And that 3-point shot added, it was a crucial change to the game too, to the strategy. Especially if you fouled someone, then they got to shoot 3 foul shots. This all makes me grateful to my junior high school teacher, who is no longer with us in the physical sense. But I know Toke is with us now, smiling and proud of this event. I would like to dedicate this award, here I go again, to 2 people in my life, my coach, and my gym teacher, because I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here right now. And my number 1 fan, my mother, Helen Corber. My mom supported me 200%, always at every game, always cheering me on, yelling at the refs. And I know where I get that from. Keeping her own stats, letting me know if I was in foul trouble, and she would let me know. Or always giving me positive feedback. I am so grateful and thankful to have had such inspiring support. My mom was proud of me my entire life, even with my present career and whatever I got into. And I was happy to make her feel that way. She loved the excitement and competition, sometimes too much. Playing many sports taught me lifelong lessons and being able to handle any crisis throughout my life and the heartbreaking losses that come from life. Being a team player has enabled me to wrap up almost 30-year hard-fought career with the Ohio Department of Transportation. And believe you me, that took teamwork. I'd like to thank my team, not just at work, but all through high school, 4 years, all through college. I wouldn't be here without my team. And my teammates, they were important. One day, a smart super athlete, and handsome too, from Geneva High School, told me, after all these years, it's nice to be remembered. That is what he told me about this banquet. And you know, he's right. And that was my brother-in-law, Mark DeBavick. He's been to a couple of these. I would like to thank all involved with this ACBF program, and Brad Ellis for everything he does, and the directors and the trustees, and that makes this event happen. Phil Garcia, the caterer, for all the great food he cooked. I want to congratulate the Geneva girls basketball team for a successful season, and Coach Barbeau and Lindsay Maley for being awarded the Coach and Player of the Year. I want to congratulate Jefferson Boys basketball team for going farther than any other team in the Jefferson history. was able to catch a few of those games too. They were good. Also, congratulations to Coach Steve French and Sam Hitchcock for being awarded the Coach and Player of the Year. And Lindsay, you will be standing on this stage someday, accepting this award. And finally, I would like to thank my family and friends for being present and always supporting me. My love to my sister, Kathy, and her husband, Mark DeBevick. My nieces, Eagles head volleyball coach, Anna, and husband, John Hazler, and Olivia and her husband, Mark Grace, and my good friend, Barbie. We are all champions. Once an Eagle, always an Eagle. But give me a G. No, Again, thank you. I'm glad that's over.
Oh, why not? Give me a G now. Our next inductee is Sam Hands. Sam graduated from Geneva in 1962, first year after consolidation. He moved from Spencer to the Eagles with Coach Al Bailey and was a leading scorer on that team. The Eagles won their first 16 games that year and ended up finishing 18-2. After high school, Sam elected to go to work and honed his skills before starting his own sign business in Maine. He and his wife Ellen have 8 children, 4 of whom work in the sign business. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation Hall of Famer, Sam Hands.
Okay, the first person I want to thank is my wife. Because in 52 years, this is the first time she's sitting in the room when I'm on a microphone. She has always left the room. So Ellen, thank you very much for staying. The other thing I want to know is you young people here, when we played basketball, we had to have better looking legs than you guys. Because our shorts were right up to our crotch. Now explain to me why you're wearing Bermuda shorts on the court, right? I mean, you look really cool, you know. Also, I want to thank my son-in-law, Trevor and Kathy. They came up from Maine with me a couple days ago. But as a businessman, as a father of 8, grandfather of 26, yeah, it was tough work. Every time somebody asked me how to get 8 kids, I'd say I come from a place in Ohio called Fertile Valley. Really kind of cool. So anyways, as soon as I found out that I was going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame, the first thing I thought about was why. You know, it's been so long ago, I don't even remember hardly playing basketball. But I'm here. And I was actually hoping this was all gold so I could melt it down and sell it. I really wouldn't have done that. Also, the first thing I found out about life is, and young people will find out, is you're not going to be a success unless you surround yourself with good people. Now, whether it be friends, family, employees, it doesn't make any difference. You'll be a success if you have good people in your life. Now, I was lucky enough, Dave Taramasso was one of the players on our team in '62. That's when we had Neville backwards, by the way. He's already been inducted. Jimmy Osborne was on that team. He was been inducted. So the first thing I did when Chris called me and said that I was being inducted, I hung up, I wrote a 4-verse poem about how great I was, and then I thought maybe I should be a little humble. So then I called up the 3 remaining players. Is there 3? Yeah. Billy looks dead, but the 3 remaining players. So what I'd like to ask you to do, I want to give them that much credit. And I'm going to take but I'm trying to be a little fair. So if Billy and Jimmy and Bobby would stand up, I'd like to tell you thank you. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here anyway. One more person that always goes, they never get thought of, is the cheerleaders. We had one bunch of hot cheerleaders. And Billy picked up on that years ago because he married one. So Jeanette is still here. And you guys all know, and the girls all know, cheerleaders perk everybody up, they get everybody excited. They always got me excited. So Jeanette, would you stand up? Jeanette was one of our cheerleaders. So, and my wife, the last thing she said, Sam, be humble, make it short, shut your mouth, and don't say anything that's going to embarrass me. So, I'm done. I want to thank everybody here. Thank you very much, guys. Ladies. Thank you very much.
They started out as a G-rated show. Our next inductee is Kenneth Green. Ken's a 1969 graduate of Grand Valley High School. He was co-captain of the basketball, football, and baseball teams his senior year. He played basketball under Bill Young and Fred Stetler, averaging 24 points as a junior, almost 22 as a senior. He was named first team All-County and All-GRC both of those years. He went on to play baseball at Muskingum. Ken is married to Kim. They have 2 children, and Ken works as a salesman for Dell Imaging Systems. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation Hall of Fame member, Kenneth Green.
Well, I'm going to be one of those short and sweet guys. I want to thank the ACBF for letting me join their little club here. I really appreciate that. Some people I want to thank. Of course, my parents, they were instrumental in giving me the opportunity to spend a lot of time on the basketball court, football field, the baseball field. Fortunately, they're both gone now, but I know they're up there celebrating today. So they were at every one of my games that I ever played in my entire life. So really want to thank them. I want to thank my coaches. My coaches were great coaches. Spent a lot of time, gave me the fundamental aspects of basketball and every sport that I played. But basketball, I spent a lot of time. We had some good teams and made some close, long-term friends on the team. And still in touch with them today. I live in Connecticut, so I got a chance to do a father-son road trip here. Unfortunately, my wife couldn't come. She's up for some surgery here in the next month or so. 9-hour drive is just not in her agenda here. So anyway, I made a trip with my son. And what I really want to thank is the ACBF for finally giving me the validation that I've been telling my son for years. Hey, I used to be good. So anyway, I want to thank every one of you for letting me finally validate that in his eyes. So thank you very much.
Our next inductee is Jamal Harris, a 1993 Harvard graduate. Jamal graduated and played forward for Coach Andrew Isco, leading the Mariners to the district finals his sophomore year. Jamal was player of the year in the NEC and county as a junior and first team on those squads as a senior. He went on to play basketball at Tiffin University. Jamal now works for Cleveland All Dealer Tire in Strongsville. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation Hall of Famer, Jamal Harris.
First off, I would like to say thank you to Coach Joe. Thank you. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been able to punishment in my mind, you know, because where I was coming from. Then I started enjoying it. We were winning, and we were winning games. And then he comes to me and says, you have to go to JV and varsity. Told him I didn't want to go. Want to stay with the freshmen. We were having a good time. So long story short, I went to varsity, and then I got Mr. Kraft. Mr. Kraft taught me how to compete hard. He won't let me go. He just let me go. Then it was Mr. Isco. Everyone talks about Indiana. Well, Coach Isco really loved Indiana. He taught me how to be a better player and hone my skills to make everybody else better. And I really want to thank those three men. They really helped me become a dominant player to where Boyd Griffin, he gave me hell. Boyd Griffin was awesome. And Ray Isco told me how to play him because he was out of basketball player. And I got to see him. The rest of these people, I'm sorry I didn't get to see you, but I got to see them. But I just want to say thank you very much for allowing me into your club. And my two boys are here. And I told you, I was kind of a big deal. But in closing, I want to thank my family and everyone here. And to all of you, you guys, enjoy yourselves. If you believe in yourself, work hard in school and in sports. And you need to be the best player in practice. Then take it from practice. Be the best player on the floor. Then you want to be the best player in your city. Then you want to be the best player in your county. Then you need to take it a little further and become one of the best players in the city. Don't ever forget that. And the ladies who are going to watch Connecticut, I love, watching girls basketball in high school. You guys are dominant. Us boys, we'll play fair, but you guys are really good. So to all of you, to everyone here, congratulations to you all. Thank you.
Our next inductee is Kelly Kakfer-Bruzy. Kelly's a 2000 Jefferson graduate, was the NEC and County Player of the Year for sophomore, junior, and senior year in both basketball and in volleyball. Playing basketball for Coach Rod Holmes, Kelly scored 1,588 points and amassed 1,204 rebounds at Jefferson. That earned her a scholarship to Bowling Green, where she played for 4 years. Upon graduating from college, she became a bank manager, currently for Cove Credit Union in Edgewood, Kentucky. Kelly and her husband David have 3 sons. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation Hall of Famer, Kelly Kakfer-Bruzy.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys. It's emotional, and you guys will get there someday. I promise you'll cry over, especially the girls. You'll cry over everything when you have kids and you're here and you're looking back on everything. Congratulations to all the high school athletes. This is a really big deal, and it goes really fast. And someday you'll be standing up here wearing Spanx, like I am today, with your dress. It's just, I got the call from Nick Irochi back in November, and 3 things went through my head when I listened to his voicemail. The first one was that I am so extremely humbled to be standing up here today. This is a really, really nice honor, and I really appreciate that. The second thought that went through my head was I couldn't wait to tell my parents. They've been my biggest fans, my biggest supporters through day one, so I'm so happy they could be here today. My whole family's here. My husband's home with my 2-year-old who wasn't that excited about sitting through a ceremony, so I brought my oldest here, Adam, who's 8, and again, I told him that used to be a big deal as well, so he doesn't believe it, but now he does. And the third thing I thought was, holy cow, I'm so old. Like, I'm your call for an ACBF. Okay, I guess it's that time. But I was excited. I'm very excited to be here. I will say that at this point, it's very bittersweet for me to have been a Jefferson basketball player. I would never take away the immense support that I had from my coaches at Jefferson, namely Rod Holmes. Janine Bartlett was a huge, huge inspiration to me. She was my volleyball coach, but she helped with our basketball program a lot as well. And Coach Bartlett, Coach Holmes taught me how to lead a team, which is translated further in my life. It's not just about sports. It takes you so much further than just the court. I learned how to be an accountable person, and that takes you so much further with friendships and marriage and parenting. And I also learned how to work hard. You're not going to go anywhere in life if you don't know how to work hard. No one's going to hand you things, and that's something that I learned very early on. I worked for everything that I got because my parents told me, we're not paying for college, so you better get a scholarship. So I said, okay, all right, I'm going to start working harder. My dad told me when I was a freshman, he told me that I could take this as far as I wanted to, and I believed him. And I remember thinking that he thought that I could do something bigger with basketball, that I really could. And it got me a full ride scholarship, and you know, I look back on, I mean, college is already over. I've been out of college since 2005. It's 2016. Do the math. I'm 33 years old. That's so gross. Like, I can't believe I'm 33. My brother couldn't make it today, but you know, he was my first competitor, my first best friend, and I really wish he could have been here, but we had so many drive-away games that ended in tears, and it was actually him crying, not me. But you know, my brother ended up being 6'5", and he taught me very early on that the pump fake is my best friend, because I'm not the tallest post player in the world. So that was, you know, a lot of valuable lessons, but just a lot of, you know, bonding time and just really learning how to play the game. And my sisters are here, Haley and Jamie. For those of you that are confused, I'm Kelly, that's Haley, that's Jamie. There's some of you who have already been confusing them, but that's okay. You know, they were my little cheerleaders back when I was playing. And Haley, you're going to be up here soon. And I can't wait for that day. I'm so proud of both of you. And I'm proud of the women that you've become and all of the things that you've learned and all the things that you've accomplished. And there's so much more in store for you guys as well. I'm now a wife. I'm now a mother of 3 boys. And I'm so happy that Adam, my oldest, could come with me today to see a part of my life that feels like it was just so long ago. And I want him to know that the whole future is ahead of him. I love you so much. And I will make sure that just like my parents, I will never miss a game. And I want him to know that he's going to be able to take his gifts as far as he wants to as well. Mom, Dad, Haley, Jamie, Adam, I love you all. It means so much that you're here today. Thank you, ACBF, for allowing me this honor. I'm very touched by your consideration. And I'm very proud to have been a Jefferson Falcon. Thank you very much.
Our next inductee is Brad McNeely Anta. Brad is a 1992 Papatuni Valley graduate, was a 3-year letter winner under Coach Bob Hitchcock, scoring 1,150 points. His senior year, he was selected Player of the Year for the league, the county, and All Northeastern Lakes Division III. He was also selected to the All-Ohio First Team. He went on to play for Army for 2 years. He spent 7 years in the Army, including 2 tours in Bosnia and 1 in Kosovo. He and his wife, Maria Teresa, have 3 children and live in New Jersey, where Brad is a federal contractor. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation Hall of Famer, Brad McNeely Anta.
First of all, I'd like to thank the foundation for selecting me for induction in the Hall of Fame. It's an honor. Congratulations to the fellow inductees as well. Congratulations to the students and coaches who've been honored tonight. It's a heck of an accomplishment, and good luck. So I'd like to thank my parents and friends and friends of the family for setting the environment for success. My parents were very positive. They encouraged me. They still encourage me in life. And they really set a good example. And I think my brother and two sisters have benefited from that as well. I remember my father after an 8th grade basketball game one time where I was upset that I wasn't touching the basketball, and I wasn't the best player on the team in junior high. And I got a rebound, defensive rebound, and I dribbled up, and I didn't pass, and I kept on dribbling until I got a layup. And I was excited, I was happy. And then after the game, my dad told me, if I ever see you do that again, you'll never play a sport again. You know, that's not what playing sports is about, and that's not with me. I remember my mother, we happened to live near the Hitchcocks. I remember in 7th grade or 6th grade, 9 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock at night, my mother said, well, that Doug Hitchcock is out there playing basketball. You know, if you want to be good, that's what you have to do. So that's stuff with me too. Thanks. So my family, thank you very much. I'd also like to thank Bob. Bob taught me about basketball. Bob and some of the other assistant coaches and coaches I had growing up. One of the things that Bob taught me was you need to challenge yourself. I remember when I was a freshman and I was going in for open gym, he pulled me aside and said, you know, I see you playing and you're always playing against kids that were in my class that were 5 or 6 inches shorter than me. He said, you know, that's all good. I'm glad you're playing basketball. But you're never going to get better unless you challenge yourself. So he said, you need to go find older players, taller players, faster players. You need to go outside of Andover because Andover has a small selection of athletes and players. So I did that. And, I practiced. I used to split, as a freshman, we split juniors and seniors on. We played one-on-one review drills. And when I was a senior, he put 2 or 3 players against me in practice and really pushing me. He always had older players, alumni coming back to the gym at practice and an open gym and challenging them, setting an example for how to play. So thank you very much for teaching me basketball. In college, there was an eye-opening experience. I went from a smart kid, from what I thought was a smart class, it turned out I was a smart kid in a dumb class in terms of basketball because the players on that team were way better than me. But hard work and dedication, I continued to play and I learned and I continued to improve. There was a monument outside the basketball arena with a quote from General Douglas MacArthur, and the quote read, on the fields of friendly strife are sown the seeds that on other days and on other fields will bear the fruits of victory. MacArthur was talking about how athletics could be a good learning experience for leaders and can develop leaders, and it's true. We've heard some of these other inductees talk about how basketball taught them dedication and hard work and perseverance and teamwork, and it's absolutely true. And it continues to show me the way forward in life, with raising children and working and being married. So I'll always be grateful for athletics for that point. So again, thank you, and have a nice day.
Our next inductee is Louis Pavlino. Lou's a 1941 Ashtabula graduate. He's being inducted as a contributor and official, having spent 22 years officiating basketball and football before having to give it up due to open heart surgery. Louis served in the Army during World War II and earned several medals in his country's service. Pavlino worked for Reliance Electric as a foreman until his retirement in 1982, at the age of 59, after 36 years on the job. He unfortunately passed away in 2012 at the age of 88. His widow, Jean, is here representing him tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation Hall of Famer, Louis Pavlino.
On behalf of my family, we would like to thank the Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation for honoring our beloved Louis for doing something he loved to do. Thank you very much.
Our next inductee is Pete Candela. Pete's a 1976 St. John graduate. Played under Coach Denny Barrier for the Heralds. Candela averaged 19 points a game his junior and senior years, and was voted MVP of the team and was the All-NEC and All-Ashtabula County selection. He considered going to Ohio Northern, but instead went to work for the Conrail Railroad as a brakeman. He was promoted often, and Candela eventually became dock manager on the Upper Peninsula in Escanaba, Michigan. He retired last July to Boynton Beach, Florida, where he and his wife Karen have 3 children. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation Hall of Famer, Pete Candela. Pete unfortunately couldn't make it today, so we'll accept this on his behalf. With the weather outside, I'm not certain I'd want to leave Florida either, so. And our next nominee then is Al Runyon. Al graduated from Edgewood in 1969, played basketball and baseball for the Warriors. After graduation, he played baseball for Edinburgh for 2 years before transferring to The Ohio State University. He then taught and coached several sports in the Edgewood system. As a varsity basketball coach, he was 77 and 49 overall and was an official for 5 years. Al retired in 2010. He and his wife Kathleen now keep themselves busy tending to their 10 acres of land. They have 2 children. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation Hall of Famer, Al Runyon.
This will probably be a little bit of a different perspective from what you've heard so far this evening, because all the people I'm sitting up here with are really, really good high school basketball players. And I was really, really good as a high school basketball player, I think, on 3 nights, if I remember correctly. And Coach Armstrong, sitting behind me here, could probably verify for that, because he was our JV coach when I was a senior. And you can put together a very mediocre basketball season if you score 2 or 3 points one night and come back with 12 or 14 the next night, and then top that off with 5 the next game, and 6 and 3 and 15. So you get about 3 of those in a year, and that was it. So I do want to thank the foundation and all the directors for this honor. I'm truly humbled to be a part of this today. My life has been so richly blessed. If I had thought years ago, and I'm thinking, she says, I'm 33 already. Oh, 33, how long ago was that? Wow. But my wife Kathleen will soon be wed 44 years. She's endured, I guess is a good word for it, all of my coaching escapades. I totaled up all of the different seasons, and it comes up to a little over 60 that I coached with basketball and spring baseball and summer baseball and junior high football and JV softball and YMCA soccer, and I think that's all. There were over 60 seasons that I was gone coaching, and she was tending to the children. And I'm proud that both of our kids are here, Scott and his wife Katie, and our 2 grandsons, Noah and AJ, and my daughter Heather is here, and her husband John, and granddaughters Grace and Maggie. And as part of this, I had the awesome experience of being able to coach both my kids, which was pretty cool. It was a great experience. Athletics has also been obviously a big part of my life. I was blessed to be able to play college baseball, and that was a terrific experience. But basketball has been a huge part of my life. I did some officiating. I actually took an officiating class when I was at Ohio State University and got my license then. I came into officiating up here after moving back. At the same time, Phil Garsha, Doug Vladik, Roger Sterling entered into the officiating arenas around here. We got jumped into the varsity schedule rather quickly. And I did about 5 years of varsity basketball officiating and truly enjoyed that aspect of it. But at some point, the officiating and coaching, and having to go scout for your head coaches, kind of was a conflict, and you had to pick and choose. So I stayed with the coaching and gave up the officiating. Otherwise, like Phil, I could be saying, I've just finished my 57th year. Wasn't it 57, Phil? 43. Oh, 43. Something like that. I had the good fortune of being an assistant coach under 5 head coaching individuals. I started with Mr. David Klein, and then I followed that up by coaching with Hall of Famer Mr. John Paul, Hall of Famer Mr. Al Goodwin. Then I took a few years off to finish my master's degree, and when I came back into coaching, Mr. Dick Heath was coaching at Edgewood, and then I coached again with Mr. Hall, his second stint at Edgewood. Now, I got to be in the JV position with both Mr. Heath and Mr. Hall. And if those of you that have been around a few years and have seen those two individuals, they're both highly successful high school coaches, well over 300 victories for each. But they are polar opposites on the philosophies of how you get all those victories. Mr. Heath's team were pressing and running, and he may even started pressing when the teams got off the bus in the parking lot. I'm not sure. We haven't been close to that. Mr. Hall's teams were more methodical and patient, and knowing that if you are patient enough, the defense is going to break down. Nobody likes to play defense for very long. So if you're patient enough, someone's going to get lazy, and you're going to get a really good shot out of it. So I was able to glean information from both of those individuals, and it is truly a huge benefit to me. When I finally got the opportunity to be a varsity coach, I tried to instill in my players a lot of what I learned from all of the coaches I coached under. One of the advantages of being an assistant for many coaches is that each year you get a folder of information of the things that they do offensively, defensively, philosophies, and you start building your own philosophy from all of that information. I think the biggest thing that you have to try to instill in your players as a coach is, and I was glad, Jamal, you said a couple things you did. You have to instill in your players that you have to play with intensity. You have to play hard. You want to be able to compete against someone who is playing with intensity. You better match that or top that, or you lose. So I think in many of the situations I was in, the players that I was coaching were able to understand that concept and take that to heart. I'm going to, for the younger athletes here, I'm going to mention specifically the one championship team that we had at Edgewood in 96 and 97. I've got three of the individuals that started for me that year are here. And it was such a special group because they refused to let somebody outplay them. My son, Scott, was the point guard on that team, and averaged double-double that year with almost 11 assists a game. Now, only Coach Hall's son, John Hall, has put up numbers like that around here. And by the way, if you never got a chance to see young John Hall play, you missed something special. He was an absolute magician with basketball. And those of you that are old enough, like me, to have been around when he was here, understand that he was something special. Steve Cray was on that team, also a senior with my son. It's nice having, the coaches understand that you have a player. I mean, a player, like the people that are sitting here with the coaches. You are very fortunate. Steve was the best player in the county. He was one of the top players in Northeastern Ohio. He led the county in scoring. He led the county in three-point shooting. He shot almost 90% of the free throw line, which is a pretty good weapon to have at the end of the ball game. He ended up being a first-team All-Ohio Division II player. It's nice to have somebody like that on your team. And I know all the coaches that are sitting here would agree that those people are special. Ryan Wenzel is sitting here at our table also. He was a junior on that team. He was a 6-foot post player. And so every night he went out and played against people that were bigger than him. And every night he went out and competed with those guys, and in almost every situation, he topped their performance just by sheer effort. And I say that about these three guys for the benefit of the younger people here. They not only wanted to win a game, they not only wanted to win each quarter they played, they wanted to win each trip down the floor. And they absolutely refused to allow someone to play harder than they did. And I'm going to challenge, I got a challenge for Marcus. Pay attention, all right? Because this is important for you. But I mentioned specifically, if any of you guys that are still gals, I use the term guys because I coach guys all the time. And if you're a gal, you're a guy, too. So I'm old. That's just the way it is. When you go back in the gym, you need to be the hardest worker in the gym. If it's a game of knockout, if it's a game of one-on-one, if it's a pickup game with some neighbors, if it's an AAU game, if it's the first practice of the year, if it's open gym, be the hardest worker in the gym. Set the tone for everybody else that is in there. Never leave the gym with the feeling that, maybe I could have done better today if I tried just a little harder. There's no excuse for that. Effort can be top all the time. And one of the things that we coaches always dealt with high school athletes is you come into the gym and who knows who broke up with who or who said what about who that day. But sometimes it's more important than what's going on at 3 o'clock or 6 o'clock there in the gym. You've got to make sure that you don't settle for anything less than what is best for you. Now, for Marcus, this 96-97 Edgewood team, these three guys are part of, is the last championship team Edgewood's had. Next year, when you go back in the gym, that'll be 20 years. So I would love to see you and Coach Bowler bring another title back to Edgewood. I think that would be awesome. And you're the guy that has to do the things I said. You be the toughest guy in the gym. You be the most difficult to defend. You be the hardest worker in the gym. You know what? If your teammates don't go along with you in that, it's okay to say something. A little verbal encouragement is okay. Some of the best players that I've coached, and some of you on this docket down here probably are like that. When your teammate needs a little boost, you let them know. You don't let them let you down. That'll make you better. That'll make your teammates better. It'll make the season a success. And that's probably the key to remembering all of the wonderful things that a basketball season will bring you. I know there are some of you that are graduating. Maybe you're going on to some college efforts. Some of you are coming back for high school next year. As somebody who taught for 36 years, regardless of your athletic ability, the most important thing you can do is be a good student, work in the classroom, be a great person. By doing that, you can be a great teammate. But your academics has got to come first. And then everything else falls in line. But without those, you may not be able to play. So make sure you take care of all of that first. Again, I'm absolutely totally humbled by this whole award. Athletics has been awesome for me. I'm almost twice as old as she is, and it still means a great deal. I can remember stuff from high school. You guys will remember it forever. I know I've talked for a couple minutes. I want to tell you a quick story. In the last few months, I had several conversations with my uncle. He graduated from Austinburg High School in 1944, and he's going to be 90 years old soon. And we'd sit and we'd talk basketball. He was a first-team All-County center from Austinburg. And it's over 70 years ago, he was in high school. And we sat there, and he talked to me about so-and-so that played for Williamsfield, and so-and-so that played for Deming, that he played against, and so-and-so that played for Raleigh, and how tough this guy was that played for North Kingsville. All of these places were high schools. It's over 70 years ago, and it's still a big deal in his mind. This stuff is going to be with you forever. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Don't miss out on something special because you didn't put in your time. Don't miss out. God bless everyone. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation Hall of Fame Class of 2016. Sit tight here a second as we move into our presentation on awards, and I'll introduce David Plum.
5.5 years ago, working with Nick Irochi, I wanted to do something for this great organization and for young men and women, athletes who are playing here in Ashtabula County. And I told him I wanted to create an award for maybe not the best player in the county with statistics wise, but a player who's recognized by everyone in the league, in the county, as exemplifying sportsmanship, working hard, teamwork. And this year's honoree recipient of the award has a 3.771 grade point average. She's in the top 10% of her class, 3-year letter winner in basketball. She's done numerous volunteering throughout the Edgewood district. She works extensively not only to save money to pay for her own college, but also to help support her family. Ashley is a true leader. She may not have the best statistics of all the players here tonight, but she has the leadership, the sportsmanship, very hard worker. So this year, I'm proud to honor Ashley Evans as this year's recipient.
The Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation is once again recognizing graduating seniors who are planning to attend college. In order to receive one of the foundation's scholarships, a parent must have been a basketball coach or referee for at least 5 years. This year, the ACBF Scholarship Committee and its directors have chosen to recognize 2 outstanding applicants. The first recipient attends Geneva High School, where he carries a 3.321 GPA. He was a member of the Eagles football and baseball team. He is an academic letter winner as well as a student ambassador. He is undecided as to his future plans. This year's first ACBF scholarship winner is Tate Sorber. Tate, would you please join me on stage? And would your parents, Chip and Christina, please stand and be recognized? The second recipient attends St. John's High School, where she participated in volleyball, basketball, softball, and cheerleading. She was also an active member of Student Council, the Philanthropy Board, Key Club, and Youth Ministry while maintaining a 3.0 GPA. She plans to major in athletic training and has applied and been accepted to Cleveland State University, Mercyhurst University, and the University of Mount Union. The second ACBF scholarship winner is Madeline Martino. Madeline, Michelle Martino, please stand to be recognized. have one more round of applause for our two recipients.
Good evening. Usually when I'm this in front of a big crowd like this, they're usually booing me, no call, good idea, go to Tennessee. So yeah, we can boo or something like that, you know. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I feel alone. I'd like to thank the foundation for recognizing officials, as we have a tough job to do. We do our best. As we go out on the court, we always say there's 3 teams on the court. And as officials, we want to be the best team we can be out there. And we appreciate the support we get from everybody and stuff like that. And the foundation, we always look for somebody who's done things for people in Asheville County. And this gentleman tonight we're going to recognize is not really from Asheville County, but does a tremendous amount of work for Asheville County officials. He hires at least 95% of our officials to do his games. As a matter of fact, I did more games in Cuyahoga County, or Lorain County did in Asheville County this year. And this gentleman has always been very supportive of myself and other officials. He's a member of the Ohio Asheville Athletic Association Hall of Fame. He's got a great background in officiating. He was a basketball official for 30 years, hockey official for 25 years, was the Cleveland Indians official scorer for over 20 years, was official scorer for the Lake County Captains, baseball official for 45 years, and if I ever needed something about a rule book in baseball, I asked this gentleman, I think he wrote it. Volleyball official for 15 years, track official for 8, and he is very important for all officials here. And right now, he's currently a commissioner and a signer for one of the premier conferences in Northeast Ohio, the Lake Erie Conference. And if I keep on talking and be so nice to the gentleman, maybe next year won't send me to Lorain in the middle of a snowstorm. But this year's honoree is Mr. Fred Hyder. Fred?
I used to tell my players that luck is a result of preparation. This year's recipient for the Girls Coach of the Year is always well prepared and runs a very well-disciplined program. The ACBF Female Coach of the Year is Nancy Barbeau from Geneva.
This is quite an honor. I first want to congratulate all the new inductees. It's always such a great honor to hear the tradition of Asheville County. I was not born and raised in Geneva. I grew up in Mansfield, but I've been here a long time now. And I'm learning more and more every time I come here. And Lori, you made being a coach at Geneva High School even more special. Thank you for being a pioneer. And Kelly, awesome to see you up here to coach against and prepare against all the Catbirds. That was quite a job. I had all 3 of them, so I never thought to catch hers would leave Jefferson. Congratulations, all of you. Thank you to the ACBF. This is quite an honor. Everybody involved, you do a great job putting this event on year after year. I really appreciate being recognized, but it wouldn't be possible with the great staff that I work with. We've been together for many years. I have a terrific husband, a great little boy, and I work with tremendous athletes who are willing to put in the time, the effort, the dedication. I'm blessed with great parents to work with. I have a great player. I've been able to coach Lindsay Maley for the last 4 years, who's been one of the best at Geneva, and for me to receive this award is indicative of the players that I have, so thank you very much.
This year we have 2 boys basketball coaches of the year. Our first one in just 3 seasons has led his team to a 58-15 record, 2 conference titles, and has won the school's first district semifinal game. This year's All-American Conference champion coach and ACBF co-coach of the year is Steve French from Jefferson.
Just like to congratulate all the inductees. Great year of stories. Want to congratulate all the coaches and athletes here today. Great season. Good job. Thank you.
When you're looking to rebuild your basketball program at a school with only about 50 boys in the whole school, and your team must travel to Cleveland to play a lot of teams that are 2 or 3 times your size, obviously you're going to look for a ACBF Hall of Famer, and that's just what St. John did. This year's co-coach of the year, John Hall from St. John.
This is a little surprise. First of all, when you're my age, you're still coaching. There's 2 things you have to be. One is either stupid or out of your mind. I guess I'm both. But, you know, if there's nothing like coaching, there's nothing like basketball, and there's nothing like having good kids and being able to work with them. And it's been my pleasure to do so, and I thank you very much.
Congratulations to all the Hall of Famers. And Lori, I'm a little bit from your era, and so I think you're going to be pleased, and Coach Tokinen would be too, with this next announcement. I'd like to introduce the girls' Asheville County Basketball Foundation Player of the Year. So I'd ask Lindsay Maley, please join me on the stage. She's a 5'6" diamond. She's from Ohio, including special mention, honorable mention, second team and first team as a junior. She led her team to many times to the district and also regionals. She averaged more than 22 points a game last year as a junior, and in this year's tough season, in her comeback season, she averaged more than 13 points. I had the privilege yesterday of seeing her, I believe it would be your last high school game. Lindsay, as she scored 16 points in the Lake County News Herald All-Star game, senior classic game, so that was a privilege for me, Lindsay. She's overcome a lot of adversity in her career, and especially tearing her ACL last May and being able to make a comeback this year, 10 games into the season. Lindsay, I read where your goal was always three-time Player of the Year with the Star Beacon, and you accomplished that. I want you to know, Lindsay, that you are in good company today because you are joined by two other three-time Players of the Year in Kelly and Haley Capper. So there you are. You did it. Congratulations. Coach Barlow, I know you're extra proud of her, those statements in the paper, and Lindsay, I know that you have a special bond with her, so congratulations as you continue your career at Cedarville University. Lindsay Bailey, tell
Over the course of my 4 years at Geneva, I've gone through a lot, probably most kids haven't had to go through, but I know I wouldn't be here today. I would still be playing basketball if it wasn't for my family. And I have an awesome coach, and she's become more of a family member to me. And I have great teammates that always lift me up and support me. And just the whole community has been a great fan base to have, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Thank you so much.
I'd like to start off by congratulating the high school players and our Hall of Famers, both present and past, and let you know or remind you that when you're home next year watching TV or reading in the paper about this particular banquet, you are a part of Ashtabula County history basketball, that you will always be remembered as one of the best players that played in this particular county. At this time, I'd like to go and introduce to you the Director's Player of the Year boys, and I'd like to call up Sam Hitchcock. This young man is a 3-year letter winner. In his 3 years, his team has won 58 and lost 15. He's a 2-time All-State Award winner. He was first team All-District in Division II. He led his team this year to the first ever district finals at Jefferson High School. One thing that he's working on, in 11 years, he's received nothing but straight A's in school. His coach says that he brings out the best in his teammates. Has worked with them in the last 3 years. ACBF Player of the Year by coaching and director's vote, Sam Hitchcock, Jefferson Falcons.
I'd like to thank the ACBF for this award, as well as my family, and especially my parents, and my teammates, and my coaches, Coach French, Coach Berman, and Coach Faulkner. Thank you.
We're almost done. Just a few thank yous. First of all, an announcement, all the award winners, including the scholarship winners, please remain afterwards so we can get some pictures taken. First of all, being the president of this organization is a great honor. Grew up in Geneva, being a part of Geneva community and being a coach there, now being part of this, it's a tremendous honor to work with gentlemen like you and ladies behind me here that do an outstanding job. So without their hard work, this today would not go on. So thank you guys. Two guys that like to hide back in the corner, who usually do this portion of the program, told me at our last meeting that this was my responsibility from now on. They're not going to get away with hiding back there in the corner. So the two guys that are behind all this, the two guys that are the ones that started this foundation, and do a great job and give so much to this organization, is Mike Johnson and Nick Irochi. Thanks, guys. I want to thank a couple other people. Bill Garcia. Bill, your food is definitely better than your officiating. I'd like to thank Dave Flout and Edward Jones for their scholarship that they provide. It was an honor for me today to have Reverend Robert Lavin here, who's my priest at Assumption Church in Geneva, do the prayer before the banquet. Thank you, Father Bob. I appreciate that. I'd like to thank our DJ, I think he's still back there, Marty Landon, who does an outstanding job playing music, and beforehand, a nice introduction that we have for our players when they come in. Also, we had 3 guys helping out today with videotaping this event: Kurt Fink, Alan Monanen, and Wayne Heinen. Thank you guys for your outstanding work with that. I'd also like to thank the Star Beacon and the Gazette papers for the outstanding job they do, not only covering today's event, but covering high school sports in our county. They do an outstanding job. And while I'm talking about those 2 guys, we got a retired, he's supposed to be retired, Chris Larrick, who's one of our directors. Don't hide back there, Chris, stand up here. But all those articles that were written on all the Hall of Fame inductees that are in that pamphlet that you got today, Chris writes all those articles, so thank you, Chris, for doing that. The county schools, what they provide for us, the booster organizations, I don't know if you walked around today, had an opportunity to walk around and see some of the tables. The booster clubs from individual schools provide some of these tickets for our for the players and so on. So we want to thank all those the schools and the athletic booster organization. I want to thank the coaches and the referees and our student athletes for another outstanding year of high school basketball in this county. It's always you can tell you what, great cheap entertainment. You have nothing to do in the middle of winter in Northeastern Ohio. $6 gets you in to see a high school game and see some of these fine young men and women play this basketball game. They do an outstanding job. I would also like to congratulate our Hall of Fame class. Each year, you know, there's more and more people, and these people did an outstanding job in their careers and an outstanding job up here today. So I appreciate all that. Congratulations to all of you. A little announcement here, a little commercial, I would guess. We do give scholarships, and one of our only fundraiser at this time, and there'll be more information on this, but we lost a dear member last year, was one of the original directors, Mr. Tom Henson from Grand Valley High School, and in his honor, we started last year the Tom Henson Memorial Golf Outing Scramble Tournament, and that all the proceeds for that money go into helping provide scholarships for today. So it's June 11th. Save the date, June 11th. It's a Saturday. We'd like to see all of you out here if you're a golfer or a non-golfer. It's a great time. And again, that will be at Village Green Golf Course. One other thing I'd like to announce, we do have a new executive administrator on our group here, Michael Bartone. Michael, would you stand up, please? Don't hide back there. Michael's done a lot of work in helping us. He started if you're into Facebook, you like Facebook, if you have Facebook, we now are on Facebook, the ACBF is, and Michael got all that started. He's done an outstanding job being the newest member for our club back here. So thank you, Michael, and welcome. The last thing, and probably the most important people to thank, are you folks. You know, again, you make this day special for the people that are up here, and these young men and women are down here, and it's nice to see this many people come out on a beautiful spring day. But we appreciate all of you coming, and we look forward to seeing most of you back next year for our 15th ACBF banquet. Thank you very much.